Hey there, everybody. This is Ken with Covenant Gaming, and today we are back to our Euro Truck Simulator 2 Progressive Career playthrough. So, we have got a ton to talk about today, lots going on, but before we do anything else, I need to give a big giant thank you to all of the community. Thank you. Reason being that this is my third video in this series, and the first two have done surprisingly well. We've had a lot of subscriptions. They're not big numbers. This is still a very tiny channel, so but to me they're fantastic numbers. I'm getting a lot of comments. Everybody's really supportive. Really seems into it, and it's very nice. All the likes and subscriptions and the comments from everybody, they help the channel grow, and they also, they make me feel good about what I'm doing here, and I'm not just wasting my time. So again, thank you very much. So today we are going to run this is going to be the last of the quick jobs this episode. We're going to run one this episode. I have a feeling at the end I'm not going to have enough to get my own truck with a loan, so I think I will run one or two more offline. So that next episode we're actually buying our truck. We want to get to the truck. So one more episode of Quick Jobs. We have a lot to talk about with the channel. So let's go ahead and get into this. We are driving a Scania. We're pulling a tandem trailer, and this is a set of herbs going to Duisburg. Hold on, let me pull it up. Duisburg. Hey, I got it right. That's amazing. So let's go ahead and jump into the truck and start it up and get ourselves moving, and then we'll get talking about everything. As I said, we have lots to talk about. Does this not have GPS? Where's the GPS? Look at that, no GPS. Well, as much as I like a minimum hub, am not dealing with the no GPS thing. So we are going to pop open our little route advisor. Sorry about that, but I am not that extreme in this playthrough. Let's go ahead and get moving. And head on out. I guess I could have just driven over that curb, but that would be illegal. We don't want to do that. All right, get onto the street. And we will get going. Perfect. And we're coming up on a light. So, as I said, next episode we are going to be buying our first truck. This one will earn. I'll do a couple more jobs offline because, like I said, I probably need about 20 or 30,000 in the bank before I take a loan out in order to get a decent first truck. And I'm not going to hit that on this job, but I don't want to just keep doing quick jobs for these episodes. It'll get a little boring. We don't want to do that. So I have some thoughts on what my first truck is going to be. I don't have access to all the dealers yet. I'm not sure what I have access to right now. Iveco, there is Scania, and I believe MAN right now, and I will pick up a couple more before I actually make my choice. But what I am looking for from you guys is some suggestions. What do you guys think the good first truck is? I can tell you that I go with Volvos a lot of time. I like how the interior is really nice. The truck performs well. It's got good visibility. That's one of the big requirements here. Because we're streaming here, I want a truck with good visibility. I don't want a tiny windshield that you can't see the nice scenery and all that. A lot of this playthrough is exploration and seeing what's out there to see. And if we get landed with a truck that's got a really narrow windshield and blind spots all over the place, it's not going to be fun. So visibility is actually a big requirement with this. But I would like to know what you guys think about the first truck. I will take it into consideration, and we'll pick it up together next episode. Other than that, let's talk about the channel. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to discuss. We've had, amazingly, for such a small channel, lots of great little things happening. First of all, if you didn't notice, I have reconfigured my my desk around. I used to have my desk this way, and it sort of moved it around a while ago thinking that would be better, and I changed my mind. I actually like this setup a little better. The reason, and this is on the creative side of things, because I can't keep absolutely everything that I want to talk about in my head, and the trivia about the towns that we go through that I'll be talking about. I can't keep all that in my head. So I write out like a script. It's not a word for word script, but I got, bullet points. Talk about this, talk about that. Hold it. Make sure you mention this, make sure you mention that. And so I put all that up on one of my monitors. And this configuration lets me put the script up right under the camera. So when I'm looking like this and I'm looking over at you guys, I also have the script right below that camera, so I can check things out, make sure. I better slow down a little bit there. I'm going too fast. It lets me be able to see things, engage with you guys and all that. And then I kind of like this when I'm driving and I'm looking off in this direction is kind of interesting. I've seen other people do that. And kind of, when I'm watching them, it sort of makes me feel like a passenger, which is, for a game like this, I think is pretty interesting. So tell me what you think. Tell me if the quality looks good, what you think about the setup. Maybe people don't care. I like it this way just because it makes it a little bit easier for me to film. So I'm going to probably going to keep it this way. So other changes and things that I'm doing in the channel, because I'm just getting started, a lot of this time is figuring out what's going to work. I actually, as much as this is a hobby, I have a job. I'm a software developer, and I do that full time. And this is a hobby right now, but it's something I enjoy quite a bit. And I take it seriously enough that I would like to see it grow. And so I think about, what's going to make it work. Man, look at that trailer. That thing is shaking all over the place. Hold on, I'm popping out. Maybe not. Just look that way. Anyway, yeah, so I think about things that will be helpful, which is why I need to use my headlights. What do you guys like? What kind of videos are you interested in? I don't want to just do what I like. I want to know what you guys think. And so I make some videos. Sometimes I try something new and I see how it does, see how people respond. And along with these playthrough videos, I was producing, I call them like drive videos, where basically it's just I record myself driving from one place to the next. No commentary, no voiceover, no pop-ups or any animations or anything like that. Just drive from one place to the next, come up with a interesting title and a thumbnail, and dump it out there. It's nice because they're easy. I mean, they're super quick, so it's not like I have to take a lot of time, because I do have limited time. So I've done a couple of those, and I had asked for comments on what people thought about them. And it's pretty clear. Nobody really likes them. I was looking at them. They hardly get any views, no subscriptions. Nobody really engages with them. Nobody really cares. We had some comments from Mike, Craig, and Sword Destin were nice enough to let me know. They were like, yeah, and they were very gracious about it. They were like, we much prefer, they didn't say we hate those videos. We say we much prefer hearing you talk and all that. So I think they're right. I actually never much cared about those videos. I mostly just did them because they were easy and quick. And yeah, so I'm going to let those go. I don't see any reason to hang on to them. However, I want to replace that with something. And what that something is going to be a continuation of my American Truck Simulator career. I did have a set of videos that I had recorded and put out there in the past, maybe earlier this year. And then I'd kind of taken a break because I was working on some other things, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend all the time on this. So I had to spend a little time really thinking about it, and now I've come back and I've decided, yeah, I'm gonna focus on this. So I had several videos of American Truck Simulator. They did okay. They didn't do as well as these are doing, but they were fine. And I enjoy American Truck Simulator too. I love the both of them. I'm from America, so I recognize the geography a lot more. I'm from the East Coast, so we haven't gotten to my part of the country yet, but I recognize it a lot more. I I kind of like driving in Euro Truck Simulator more because I think it's a little more interesting. The roads are a little more challenging. There's a lot more to interact with in the game, and because I'm not from Europe, I get to kind of see a lot of scenery that maybe around here we don't get exposed to. But I do enjoy American Truck Simulator a lot. And so I figured I would also start picking up on that career as well. And I'll try to do one episode of each per week. And that should be fine. I have, between my wife working late a couple days and me getting home early a couple days and I have enough time that I should be able to take care of that easy enough every week. And we'll see how that all goes. Another thing I was thinking about, I always kind of liked this idea. I've seen other people do this as well, is like news videos. And I definitely see plenty of, updates on things that SCS Software announces pretty much that day. But what I was thinking about was more like a weekly news recap, like once a week put out a video, or maybe once every other week. And this I'm not quite sure about yet. I don't know how much work it's going to involve. But maybe once every week or two, kind of a recap on everything that's been going on, probably specifically with SCS Software, as well as the mod scene. What's been announced, what's coming up, what's been released, what kind of interesting things are the community doing, highlights, all that kind of stuff. I see a lot of opportunity for doing that kind of thing, and it could be pretty fun. My only question is how long it'll take. Editing news things like that, making them look the way that I would want it to look might take too much time. So we're going to see. That's something I'm thinking about. Next thing is gear. So as I've mentioned before, I don't have any kind of a fancy setup here. I am using a keyboard, which is right here, and I'm using this Xbox controller, which is better than a keyboard, but nowhere near as good as a wheel. And I actually had several people commenting about gear and talking about how much of an improvement it is to move up to a wheel, which I agree. Also the head tracking, because I have to, every time I move that camera like that, I'm doing it with the stick, and it's kind of a pain. So head tracking, getting a setup like that, it's a little bit of an investment, but I can do it if I want to. It's kind of a question of if it's worth it. Do I feel like spending the money? That kind of stuff, and I think I do. I have a decent idea of what I would want to get. That the head tracking would probably be a little down the road, because those things are pretty darn expensive. But you can get a pretty good Logitech starter wheel and shifter, because I like the idea of having pedals and everything as well. You can get them new for like $300-400 for the whole thing. And you can also check your Facebook Marketplace, and people are putting them up used from time to time. So I'll probably keep an eye on that. I might wait a little bit though, simply because right now we're in Dusseldorf. Right now my wife and I are renting. We sold our house a couple of years ago. Here in the States, the housing market is there's a question mark right there, and I think I didn't route myself to it properly. So we're gonna turn right here, and we're gonna get this question mark. No, we're not. All right, we're back. I had to adjust my route. I'm trying to hit all these question marks and viewpoints and all that kind of stuff along the way. So anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, whether I want to get a wheel or not. So we sold our house a couple of years ago because the housing market was taking off, and it was a great opportunity to get rid of a house that I wanted to get rid of anyway, and make more on it than I would have been able to normally. So we did that, and then the intention was to rent for a little bit until things cooled off and buy another house. Well, it's been like 3 years and things still haven't cooled off, so we are looking for another house, but finding one that's not $100,000 and $200,000 more than it should be is difficult these days. So until I buy my house and get my new office set up, and I'll be able to set that whole thing up exactly the way I want to, it's not worth buying larger equipment and things like that. I'd rather kind of wait until I can set up something sort of custom and build something out exactly the way I want it. So I might wait on the wheel unless some kind of really, really good deal comes along, then maybe I'll just jump on it. We'll see. We'll see about that. So the other thing that had come up, let me stop this red light. And we're in Düsseldorf, by the way. I'm going to have to take a quick pause from talking about the channel to talk about this town. And actually, we're on the red light. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, I'm back. I just had to pull up a couple of notes because we're in. I'll pick up on what I was talking about with the channel in a few minutes once we get through Düsseldorf. So as I said, one of the things I like to do when I'm driving around is kind of read up on the different towns and places that I'm visiting and learn about them. I was never into history when I was younger, so I didn't get a great education in history. I mostly was on the math and chemistry and science side of things, and I didn't much care about history. Now later on in life, especially because me and my wife travel a lot, is I actually find it pretty interesting. Not necessarily the little facts and figures like, oh, this place does this, or it's got a population of blah 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 and a climate of blah blah blah. That's not necessarily what I care about. Mostly what I like is the interesting little stories that I run across when I'm reading up on these towns. So as I was looking up Düsseldorf, I found a few interesting ones. First of all, Düsseldorf has the densest network of autobahns anywhere in Germany. And now Autobahn, which most people will have heard of, it's the network of it's the federal highway system. It's the German highway system, basically. And what's fantastic about the Autobahn is it's, for the most part, has no speed limit. There's a couple speed limits in urban areas, but for the most part, you can go as fast as you want, as long as you have particular types of vehicles. I don't think we can go as fast as we want in these trucks. But so I've always wanted to drive on the Autobahn. Never have, but I would love to someday. So it was kind of cool to hear that the densest concentration of highway is right here in Düsseldorf. That was pretty interesting, I thought. The other big one was, and we have a viewpoint coming up right here. Hold on, we are gonna pop out. Oh, look at that, the Düsseldorf Dome. And you know what? Yeah, look at that. That's actually a pretty great screenshot right there. All right, hold on. I'm going to adjust a couple things and take another couple screenshots, and then I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So the other interesting thing I learned about is that there is a very fierce, you know how rivalries between towns, like, of course, I can't think of any right now, but yeah, Yankees and Red Sox. There's a big one from my part of the country. Düsseldorf and another nearby town, Cologne, which is one we popped through maybe last episode, maybe the first one. They actually have a really huge rivalry between the two of them. And it is, I think I can just turn around right here. I don't have to drive through all that. Let's stop at the light. So this rivalry comes out in the form of rival parades. Rival football, meaning soccer over in Europe. Hockey has a rivalry, and this was the really amusing one. They even have rival beer tastes. So if you are from Cologne, you will be preferring Kolsch beers. I'm not a huge beer person, so I'm probably brutalizing that one. You guys can tell me what that means. I didn't bother to look that one up. And if you're in Düsseldorf, you prefer an Altbitter beer. So if you order the wrong kind of beer in the wrong town, you can expect a thorough thrashing. So I thought Rival Beer Taste was pretty impressive. I wonder about like the guy in Dusseldorf who absolutely loves Kolsch's and what he does. Does he just? I guess he just has to sort of suck it up and not drink it. I'm going to pull a U-turn here because I don't need to be here. So yeah, so I wonder about that poor guy. But I did find that whole thing pretty amusing. And so from there, I'm going to go ahead and get us back out onto the highway, and then we can talk a little bit more about the channel. All right, and we're back. So yeah, as I was saying, back to the channel. There was one other kind of really interesting thing that came up at the earlier in this week. One of the viewers, Shadow the Typo, he's another creator. He's got it's another small channel. And he just started up a playthrough of American Truck Simulator and everything. I'm going to put a link to his channel down in the description. So go ahead and give him a check out. I think he's building something nice there. He certainly knows a heck of a lot more about trucks and all that than I do. He's all talking about the little intricacies here and there, and yeah, I don't really know all that much. I just know how to drive. So he's really, don't do that. He's also got the wheel and the whole kit and caboodle and everything going on, so it's pretty nice. So check him out. But anyway, he'd had a kind of an interesting thought, and this was something I was thinking about myself separately. So it was sort of serendipitous, as he was talking about convoys and potentially running some convoys, and it got me. Oh, we're raining. Let me turn on my wipers. Yeah, and so it got me thinking about getting together with some other, like some other small channels, people like me that are just getting started, and maybe getting together and doing a convoy, filming something. We can all film our own episodes and all that, and just kind of get together. That was some pretty cool lightning. Awesome. We can all get together and just kind of have a fun drive. I think primarily it would just be kind of a blast to drive around with a bunch of people. I also think it would be pretty cool for the channels for us to all, bring our different styles and our different personalities together. And see how that goes. So I'm kind of curious what everybody else thinks about that. I think it's a really good idea, so I'm kind of pretty inclined to do it. I think I was supposed to take that exit. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty inclined to do it because I think it's a great idea. So I'm not sure when. Got to figure out all the logistics. I don't know how often. Again, you gotta have time and all that stuff. So we'll figure it out. I do think that if we do it, it'll probably be an American Truck Simulator as opposed to Euro, but we'll see about that. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. And again, I'm linking Shadow's channel down in the description, so go take a look at that if you get a chance. And in the meantime, I will go ahead and get us a little closer to our destination, and we'll catch up when I get there. All right, we have arrived in Duisburg. So I went ahead and hit a rest stop and slept because I wanted it to be daylight, because we got a viewpoint coming up right after this light. And I figured it was worth the hit for the late fee on the job to be able to see this place in the daytime, because these little movies that they put together are actually pretty nice. And it's always a bummer when you run across them when it's at night and you can't really see what's going on. First of all, take a look at those two guys getting down over there. That is some solid moves. I can't do that. So wow, that is a nice looking cathedral right in front of us. But yeah, I'm going to guess that is part of the viewpoint, and it's right up here. So let's get ourselves up here, shut down the engine, and see what Duisburg has to show us. It looks quite nice. There we go. All right, there's another guy. Evidently it's a big dancing town. They got some steps. I do think they're all doing the same moves, though. That's a little suspicious. That looks like some kind of, yeah, that's a ruin of some sort. They built a frame around it, and there is that big cathedral that I was seeing in the distance. I don't have any idea what it is. When this is over, I'll talk about the stuff I learned about this town. It's not as interesting as Dusseldorf, I think, but it's still okay. That's actually a pretty cool looking building. Looks like it's wrapped in yellow string. All right. Well, it wasn't the most exciting one I've seen, but it was still pretty nice. These those little viewpoints usually do a good job of making me want to visit the place because they always have some cool things going on. So yeah, as for Duisburg, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. What I thought was interesting about this place is it's a big sports town. This is like Boston and New York. They especially like their football team, soccer, and they have the MSV Duisburg is their team here, and it's evidently a big thing. They like it enough they went and built a new arena somewhat recently called the MSV Arena. And I didn't see it as part of this drive. I was kind of hoping that arena would be part of the video, or I would see it somewhere along this trip, but I haven't. So that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, so again, not the most interesting thing. The other bit that I learned was that this is also a port town. It is an inland port. It's on the Rhine River, and it is the largest inland. Hold on a second. It's the largest inland container port in Germany. So it's a pretty big one. I think we're just yep. Oh, what do we just hit a Renault? Oh, nice, very good. Yeah. So, but what's interesting about that by itself is okay. But what I thought was interesting is that even though it's an inland port, it is actually officially considered a seaport, which normally is only reserved for ones that are on the ocean or in a bay. And the reason is because even though it's on a river, vessels. Oh, what did I do? Hit the trailer? Well, it's a rental. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So even though it's on a river, any ship that's on the river that's visiting here is also able to travel all the way to Europe, which they're in now, but the other parts of Europe. You can get all the way to Africa, and you can get to the Middle East from here. So something about the reason they name things the way they name them, because of that, this is officially considered a seaport, even though it is on the river. Whoa, yikes. And European roundabouts, not my favorite. There we go. That's that's a cool bridge. I saw that one under construction before, but this is kind of interesting. That's a pretty neat color scheme going on. I'm popping out into third person to look at this. That's kind of neat. We got a bunch of bridges right here. Very nice. Another bridge there. That's the port over there, I'm guessing. I don't think we're dropping off at the port, unfortunately. We're heading in the other direction. But yeah, so that was all pretty good. Again, not as interesting as like beer rivalries, but I still thought it was kind of interesting. So we are getting close to our destination. We will go ahead and catch up when we arrive. And we have arrived at our destination, Carrefour. So, because this is a tandem trailer, you guys will not be able to make fun of my pitiful parking skills, because they do not make you back up tandem trailers. You just pull them straight ahead. So, that's we can save ourselves from that little embarrassment this time. And there we go. Look at that. I'm not even going to put a time up. That was instant. It was beautiful. All right, let's see. So as because of the sleeping, we took a late hit and lost 750 euros on that. But again, that's okay. We got up to level 3, so we're going to have another skill point to spend, but still made ourselves 4,700 euros. I am going to put another point into long distance. I originally thought opening up the high, fragile, and just in time I would do first, and I do want to open those up, but I wanted to get one more into long distance because I want to open up some of the longer drives so we can make a little bit more money on these. Right now the trips are still really short. It's hard to make money on these. So I'm dumping one more into long distance. Then I think the 3 after that are going to open up these 3. And then either some more long distance or some of these ADR licenses. I don't know. But let's go ahead and apply that. We'll figure that out as we go along. That just about wraps it up for today's episode. I once again thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this content, I would ask that you please like and leave a comment. And if you have not subscribed already, I would ask that you would subscribe. Again, as I said, it's an encouragement. It helps this channel to get discovered. There's so much stuff out there in YouTube, so it's really particular about how it lets people see things. So all the engagement's going to help me a lot. And so I really would appreciate that. All right, until next time, this is Ken with Covenant Games saying see you later.